and with my great co-host Felix. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much. I'm doing amazing, actually. Well, amazing due to like stuff going on in my life. Like, is all good. When it comes to a certain sport, on the other hand, yeah, we'll talk about it later on in the podcast, probably way later on. But I've got some things to say. Let's just say the least. It's probably going to be a bit of a rant. But we'll get on to that when it comes around. But apart from that, all good. Things in my life are good, and I'm excited to talk about all the things we have to talk about in this podcast because there's a lot to talk about.
Oh yes, there is. We got. It's not like a ton of news, but it's very newsworthy. So
Yeah,
there's not like a ton news, but boy, is it newsworthy. Um, so before we start, his channel below is Sniper Bro 2015, right?
yep.
Okay. Go subscribe to that channel. Go subscribe to his channel, even though he's been, live and everything. For me, with my schedule, I just luckily get lucky. When I play some of the games, I'm like, oh, there's gameplay right there I can, upload. So I just get lucky from time to time. But I mean, there is some weeks that I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to do anything when
Mm.
upload or anything like that. Of course, like when we do a podcast, because we only do it every 2 weeks. Hey, I'm ready for it every time because for me, I think if we do it every week, it's not. It'd still be
I
good.
think,
It wouldn't be as good if that makes sense.
yeah. I think we'd get burnt out by it a little bit because I think like that's what we did at one point. Like at one point we were doing it like once every week, and then it got to the point where we took a break for like a month. So like I think it's honestly great for both of us that we do this like every 2 weeks because it gets us to do it and then have us take a little bit of a break from it and then come back when there's stuff to talk about every time. So yeah, I think 2 weeks podcast is a good amount.
Yeah, that's for sure. Um, but hit the like button for us. Share it out if you can. You don't have to, but if you do, thank you so very much. Tag me on Twitter, tag him on Twitter. It's the same thing as his YouTube and everything. So, and we'll retweet it and all that good stuff. We appreciate it if you do. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. 433. Hey, we growed a little bit the last week or so. And I ain't gonna lie to you, unfortunately, it's because of the release stream and then the podcast the next day. But you can't help that because people gonna watch with that and all of that. But also a lot of Madden stuff I've been doing. Check that out. I mean, I've been doing a lot 2K stuff with NBA's coming out with Universe Mode. I've already got the next Universe Mode episode recorded and everything, so that'll be uploaded. I don't know when because I've got so when football season for us in America, um, when it's going on, dude, I have a set schedule with what I upload and then stream wise. It's kind of crazy because I got I got content set up for the rope, but after football's over with, that's when I gotta like have a big thinking brain and do something. But I'm gonna try to do universe mode every week. I'm not gonna do 2 episodes. That's too much. But I'm gonna try to do it once every week. It might be every 2 weeks, but who knows? But the big topic to start out, we got to talk about them. Edge Adam Copeland is all elite wrestling. What is your first thought, reaction, whatnot to Adam Copeland? I want to call him Edge, but he's not going to be Edge. Adam Copeland in AEW.
I expected it. I did fully expect it to happen. I just had a feeling. I had a feeling that Edge Adam Copeland wasn't done. I had a feeling that like although his run in WWE was ending, I just had a feeling like he just came across to me as a person who was not done with wrestling. So I had a feeling he was going to show up in AEW and go to AEW, and that's turned out to be the case. I am personally, I know some people have mixed opinions about it. Like some love it, some hate it. Mostly people who are like strictly WWE fans hate it because they see it as Edge selling out and all that, which is bollocks. I hate that mindset. And in fact, Edge put out a tweet pretty much explaining everything about why he's left WWE, why he's gone to AEW, and talking about that whole mindset by the fans, like the whole tribalism between like the two companies, and he's saying like both companies thriving is a good thing, and I really wish the fans would just listen to Edge and other wrestlers like that, because like other wrestlers support each other no matter what company they're from. So I feel like that's what fans should do as well. But obviously fans can be very petty and fickle, so that's just always naturally going to happen. But me personally, I'm excited for it. Just purely because it's so good to see Edge and Christian in the same ring again. So it'll be interesting to see how their feud will go and if they may eventually team up again in the future. Who knows? And plus, I think this is a good move for Edge because I think, like Edge said in his tweet, just he was outgrowing WWE and WWE was outgrowing Edge. Like they were running out of things to do with him. WWE were focusing on other people. So Edge just naturally wasn't going to get the spotlight anymore. And not as much as he used to. And yeah, and plus Edge by this point in his WWE career, he's faced a lot of the people we've actually wanted him to face in WWE, like all of the dream matches we wanted him to have. He's done them already now. So I think this is a good move for Edge to just go over to a different company in AEW and have a lot of the dream matches he can have over there, and just see how it goes. Just have fun with it, because that's what wrestling is all about. It's all about fun at the end of the day. So, and plus it's just what Edge wants to do. So I hope him the best for his run in AEW, and I think it will turn out to be a very good run. Whether Whether this will be his last run before his career ends, I don't know. I would like to see him back in WWE one more time before he retires. It wouldn't feel right for him to retire outside of WWE. It just wouldn't feel right. But for now, yeah, I'd like to see him in AEW for a short amount of time, like maybe a year or two in AEW. Like, why not? So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I think it's a positive. I don't buy into the whole negative mindset that a lot of fans have.
Yeah, at first, I was probably mixed. I didn't know. I didn't know how I felt. For me, I mean, I'm not one of those, I don't watch AEW that much. I do watch clips and stuff that happens, but if you're talking about full episodes or at least some of the episode, no, I don't. And watching the full presentation of what was going on and how Christian was actually about to do a chicharito and everything, and boom, lights go out. Boy, Tony Khan loves the lights going out. I don't know if he's bad at lights going out or something when someone debuts, but oh my God, the lights always gotta go out. But the presentation and him coming out and everything, it to me, I am happy for him. I am very happy for him because that's what he wants to do. And rightfully, that's where he should be. Now, does that Metellus hit different in WWE? Yeah, it does. Compared to, I know it's just that one occasion, but the song hits just bigger and better on WWE for me. And that's not trying to. I'm not trying to be, you know, damn. How do I word this? What you was talking about. I'm not trying to be, this or this or this, but the song hits different in WWE to me. But I'm happy for him. That's what he wants to do. But no, he got to retire in WWE fully. I think he's got to have at least, even if it's 3 months, 6 months, last little run, and then call it a career.
Yeah, I agree. With the whole Metalingus hits like so much harder and better in WWE than AEW. That's just because we're used to seeing it in playing in WWE, so it's like a nostalgia kind of thing. That's why it hits different in WWE compared to AEW. But here in AEW is mad too. Just the only like little bit of a difference is they re-recorded the "You Think You Know Me," and it sounds like when you hear the new re-recorded version of that, it sounds weird. Like you'll get used to it eventually, but it just sounded weird first. It was just like, oh god. But yeah, we'll get used to it eventually. But yeah, I'm excited for this new run with Edge, and I can't wait to see what he does in AEW and like what he's going to do with the rated R character in AEW. Like, how different is he going to make it compared to in WWE? Like, how creative is he going to be with it? That's what I'm curious about. So, yeah, can't wait to see where it goes.
Also, a thing I'm curious about. Tony Khan said he would be a full-time person. I don't think he needs to be there every week.
No. If he wants it to be full time, then definitely not wrestling full time. Like, not wrestling on Dynamite or anything on a weekly basis, because I don't think Edge should be able to do that. But maybe like showing up every week, like do promos and segments and stuff. I could see that like being fine. But wrestling every week, definitely not, because Edge is no spring chicken anymore. So no. How I would personally do if I was Tony Khan would just be having do part time like he did in WWE. It just works. Or like yeah, worst case scenario, just have him like on a weekly basis, just show up and do, or maybe not a weekly basis, but like every 2 weeks or whatever, have him show up and do a segment or a promo or whatever. Just yeah, you don't have to have him wrestle in Dynamite unless it's necessary.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't mind seeing Edge more. I didn't really. I wanted to see Edge more with WWE, to be honest. But he had done so much, and it just ran out of stuff. I mean, you still had maybe a potential. You would want to see him and Brock face off because we haven't seen that since early 2000s. You got Gunther he could have faced, but after that, you don't have many other people. I mean, you got the man that had main evented Raw last night. You had Ciampa. You could have had that would have been a banger, but just stuff like that. I mean, you have a short list for Edge. He goes to AEW for a little bit and everything, and I don't know how long, probably a year, I'd say, maybe a year and a half. He comes back for like a 6 month reign with WWE and then just ends it at WrestleMania. I think that's where he wants to, anyways. Just end it at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But hopefully he does good. I can't wait to see what dream matches he's going to do. You already know he's over here like this, ready to face Kenny Omega. Already.
Damn right.
Since I already said it, I have not got to watch the great back and forth with Ciampa and Gunther last night for the main event for the Intercontinental Championship, and I can't wait to watch it. And it was produced. The match was produced, and you already knew it should have been a great match if it was produced by this man, the glorious Bobby Roode, not Robert. God, that makes me so mad. They changed his name to Robert. Bobby Roode. I'll always call him Bobby Roode.
Same here.
And I don't know if he's going to produce, if he's going to be a full-time producer, or he's just doing this until his neck eventually heals up. Or
I think it's just, I think it's just a temporary thing until his injury heals. Or like I think it's him testing it out now while he's injured. So like when he eventually does call it a career, he may think about doing it permanently after that. Because why not?
yeah, I hope Rude's career isn't ended, but that's such a hard thing to come back from when you're already the age that he is.
True, true. I mean,
So
neck injuries, like they've ended careers. Like Jason Jordan, for example. Like Jason Jordan, his career ended young, and he's doing producing. So yeah,
so I can't wait to watch that. But the biggest thing that came out of that is, well, we finally found Johnny Gargano after all of this time. I don't know how long we've been trying to see where he's been and not on television. But looking like that DIY is back together. Now, one thing I gotta address. Change his fucking song back to Rebel Heart. What the fuck are we doing? Dog. Oh my god. I forgot that his song was that because it's been so fucking long. I looked, I said, who?
damn right.
I'm looking at the tweet and it's like, oh, Johnny Gargano, DIY renewed. So I'm like, whose fucking song is this? Can't be. Hell, I forgot he didn't even have Rebel Heart. Look,
No,
look,
it technically is Rebel Heart. It's just
no,
remixed.
no, it,
But it's really bad. Like it's a really bad remix. Like it's got the same lyrics and all that and everything, but it's just a really bad remix. It sounds nothing as good as the original. So yeah, honestly, Triple H, please, please, please change that theme song back to how it was, because that theme suited Gargano to perfection. Like every time that song like went off in NXT, reactions everywhere. Like if you get that on the main roster, it'd be the same thing. But yeah, I'm excited for DIY. Like I hope DIY go on to win the tag team titles from Judgment Day. That's honestly what I would do. Eventually, I would have DIY dethrone Judgment Day for the tag team titles. That's what I would personally do. I think they're the best team to do it.
I do agree with that, but how? I mean, we'll get
That's how you get
into
there.
well, we'll get to that, but it's like the only question I'll say, and we won't answer it, and we'll talk about it later, is how long until they win the titles, though? Like, that's. I mean, hell, we're at Fastlane, which is October. Survivor, you can't do Survivor. Royal Rumble, eh. It seems like one of those things they're waiting for WrestleMania to me.
Perhaps I could see it.
But
I could see it.
But the good thing about that is you start them out now, you can build them up, build them up, build them up. Have the crowd realize, oh shit, this Johnny Gargano person is good. They got a taste of Ciampa. They seen Ciampa, so it's like, okay, we know what Ciampa's about. Let's see what Johnny's about. That's that's the direction they need to be going and everything, and building him up, and then together building them up. Uh,
I agree.
But I am excited for DIY. I am I am really excited for him. Um, so I have this list. It's the
Oh
only
boy.
got 13 people on this list. Every wrestler to pin or submit Brock Lesnar, and it's
Okay.
going to be a little bit easier because you should be able to name
I
a
yeah.
good amount of these.
All right, yeah, I've got a bunch in my head already. So, all right, John Cena, uh, Kurt Angle,
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins,
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns, Big Show. Can't believe that's one. Triple H.
Mm-hmm. I think there will be one name on this list that gets you, maybe. Maybe.
Maybe. Goldberg. Cody Rhodes.
I thought that was going to be your first one you name, honestly.
Well, yeah, it's the most recent one, but I was my mind was going through some of the older ones first. Um, has Randy ever pinned or submitted Brock?
No.
No, no, because like one of the only matches they had was at SummerSlam where Brock busted Randy open. Yeah. The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
So how many is that so far? I've named 8, 9, around that.
9. So you got
9. So I've got
you got
4.
4 left.
This is where I start to struggle. Eddie Guerrero.
Okay.
3 left.
I'm looking at the fourth one I put down on here, and I am very, very shocked you have not said his name.
Interesting. Oh God, I really am trying to think.
I'll give you a hint. 2 of them are wrestling right now, and 1 is not.
Okay. Hmm. So 2 of them are wrestling now. Are they both in WWE?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, who else could have pinned Brock or submitted him?
Pin or submitted.
Definitely not AJ because Brock won his match against AJ.
Mm-mm.
Same thing with Brian, so it wouldn't be him. Oh God.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, for some reason I'm really struggling.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe you haven't named.
Sean the Dark, Kane.
No, it's not no shot in the. They're wrestling right now. The 2 that's in.
Oh, for the Kane one, I was like referring to the one that was not wrestling.
Oh no. Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense. But no, it's not Kane.
Hmm.
That one that's not wrestling, it's going to be a tough one.
Oh boy. Okay, so I shouldn't even bother.
Oh no,
Um.
I wouldn't bother with that one honestly right now.
um,
One more recent.
Oh, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, of course. He won the fucking
Bro,
world title from Brock. Bruh, how did it take me that long? Drew fucking McIntyre. Jesus Christ almighty.
oh,
Um,
I was a. If I had to give you Drew's name, you know how that would be the most embarrassing thing I think from you with these lists.
okay, so I got two more. One currently wrestling in WWE, one not wrestling anymore, which I'm probably not going to get. Um, hmm. Bobby Lashley?
Yes.
Okay, so now it's just the guy that's not wrestling anymore that I'm probably not going to get. Okay.
Okay, so it's about to be at the 26-minute mark. I'll give you till 28. So I'm gonna give you two.
Can I have a hint?
Um, I'm gonna say that this is a submission,
A
submitted,
submission.
and it's not recent.
Not recent, obviously. So someone who submitted Brock when he was in his like 2002 run, then like 2002, 2003 run.
I
Um,
would, yeah, yeah. I mean, it might have been pinfall, but I can't remember. But I would think it'd be submission because this was a guy
okay.
about submissions. That's about as much as I'm going to give you.
Shit. Um,
You just got to think in that era, dude that was about submission and all that. If I did any more hints, I don't know what I would say. That's
hmm,
I will say
pr-
this. Probably
go
one
on.
one of the best tackler wrestlers ever.
Oh, there's a bit of a shot in the dark. But I'm going with this just purely because of Eddie. So I'm thinking maybe he's been Brock as well. Chris Benoit.
It's Chris Benoit.
Hey!
Yeah,
Booyah!
yeah. I don't know. I don't know when he beat him, but I'm a get. It has to be in his early run or something.
I still can't believe it took me that long to get Drew McIntyre. Even though I eventually got him, I can't believe it took me that long. Bloody hell! It's because like everything that happened in COVID during COVID season is a blur to me. So I completely forgot that McIntyre won the belt from Brock.
Dude, there'll be some stuff that clips that come on Twitter, and I'm thinking this happened when I said it. Look, I didn't watch while it happened. I can't do it with no fans. So
No, me neither.
I was like, what the hell were they doing? I mean, I know they were still doing shows, but still, it's just crazy to me some of those things that happen. Um, I want to give a big shout out, and I think a lot of people in the recent year or two, or maybe a little bit more, have gave him more praise, and that's Michael Cole. Michael Cole, when they did on Raw, they did a segment with him and Seth asked Michael Cole, "How many years you been here?" He said 26. He said, "How many shows have you missed?" Two. Dude, we realize he missed two shows out of 26 years, and he's been on Raw and SmackDown. This is the second time he's been on both shows with doing commentary, like in his older years, at least a little bit older years.
And
That
you think about how many shows WWE do on a yearly basis. To miss two shows in 26 years, that is commitment. Like, how does he do it? Like, how does he not like get sick like just coincidentally get sick during one of those days. Like, or maybe he has and he's just fought through it. In which fair play, that is commitment right there. But fair play. Michael Cole deserves a lot of respect from a lot of people, and it's good that he's getting it nowadays. Like before, he used to like get shitted on all the time. He used to get so much disrespect; it was unreal. But nowadays, he is starting to get a lot more respect on his name, which I'm loving because he does deserve it. Like 26 years, only missing 2 shows is ridiculous. So fair play, Michael Cole. You have my respect, dude.
Yeah, that's just dog. That's just insane to me that you miss. And you know what? I'm going to Google what damn 2 shows that he's missed. I want to know because I don't really recall him missing a show. So
No, me neither.
2 shows in 26 years with all sickness that's came out since then. Virus here, virus here. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. AEW Collision this week. They went against NXT No Mercy and college football, and it was their lowest viewership. Lowest. I don't like to talk about numbers that much, but when you see a lowest or highest, I always talk a little bit about it. Um, do you think Edge will be on Collision, or will it be Dynamite, or is he going to be both? Like, how are they going to do that?
I could see him being both. Like I could see Edge just being like a type of wrestler that just shows up whenever he wants to. Um, Maybe they could have him on Collision as like that big star on Collision because like they had that with Punk, didn't they? Punk was like the big star that was on Collision, right? I think that's how they had it. So Edge could replace Punk when it comes to that, and he could be on Collision, or he could be on Dynamite, like just to be on the big show, essentially. I don't know. Or he could be on both, and they just use his star power as a show to elevate, as a way to elevate both shows. Either way, I think it'd be smart to do both. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm allowing him to do both, just purely because his star power will bring viewership to both shows, and that at the end of the day will benefit AEW. Because like people are saying, like, what is the biggest signing AEW has ever made? Like, some say Punk, some say Jericho, some say Edge. Me personally, I'm saying Edge. Even though like Punk may have maybe gone more hype because obviously it was his first return in wrestling in like 7 years or however long it was. Edge is just a bigger name. Edge is just a more star-studded name. So, like, and in fact, probably the biggest star AEW has ever employed, including Chris Jericho. Like, I probably say, like, Chris Jericho is the only one that comes sort of close. So yeah, me personally, I think Edge is just going to bring a ton of like viewership to both shows if he was able to be on both. So if I'm Tony Khan, I'm taking full advantage of that. Shamelessly taking advantage.
Yeah, I would have him on both. I would have him more on Collision though, because if you're gonna have a separate show like that, you need to have your second show get boosted up a little bit. To me, I will disagree with you on that. We don't disagree a lot on stuff, but Edge is their second best. CM Punk will always be number one to me because of all the hype and all of it that brought into AEW. Even if it didn't work out at the end, dude, that debut and everything of him coming back, I don't think it's ever going to be topped.
Oh, in terms of the actual moment itself of the actual like debut, it's definitely Punk. But I just know, I just think like the biggest like signing in terms of a star, like I think it's just Edge slightly above because I just Edge is just a more popular wrestler, popular name. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion anyway. But yeah, um,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, either way,
I
go
guess
on.
I guess we'll just have to see how. I will be interested to see how much he boosts viewership if it does that much,
Hmm.
or we'll see. I mean, we'll just have to see because it's going to be one of those things because he's not wrestling on Dynamite this week. I think he's doing I assume he's doing a segment, but he is wrestling next week for his first match, and I believe that's against Luchasaurus. So, talking about AEW a little bit more, John Moxley pushing hard for AEW to sign Sammy Callahan since his thing is done with Impact and everything, so he's going to be a free agent. It seems like both sides will be going hard for him, but for me, he fits way better in AEW with his style and everything to me. So I would think he would be on AEW. Hulk Hogan's daughter, Brooke Hogan. I know we've never brought her up. The only time people have brought her up has been for her looks. No offense. No one really, talks about her that much. But she did have a quote, and this was interesting because when Hulk Hogan got married again, or I don't know how many times that man got married. I don't really care about Hulk Hogan that much, to be honest. She did not attend the wedding, and she said she just got to separate herself from some family members. Very ironic to me that she wasn't even at the wedding. To me, even if it's my second or third wedding and one of my kids is not at the wedding, I would feel some type of way. But I don't know. Actually, there is more AEW news. I thought I was done with it. On Ross Sapp and Fightful said it was a late decision at AEW All In for Saraya to win. This seems like something Vince would do. No offense, but this is something Vince would do. He'd be like, "Oh, sounds like a good idea. Let's change it 30 minutes before the match," or something like that.
Makes me wonder who was originally supposed to win. Like, was maybe Tony Storm meant to win the belts? Was Britt Baker meant to win the belts? Or I don't know. I generally don't know. It makes me wonder who was originally meant to win. If Saraya wasn't actually supposed to be the one originally winning and it was changed literally last second. Very interesting.
I don't know, but that definitely sounds like a Vince McMahon type of move. Actually, more with AEW. So Adam Cole, prayers out to him with the injury and everything. I believe, what is it? His ankle. It is his ankle.
Yeah, it's his ankle. Yeah, I think it's like broke his ankle or something, or like it's severely sprained or some shit like that. Yeah, I just know it's swollen like a balloon, essentially. Like it reminds me of when I've broken my ankle as a kid, like 5 different times when I was a kid. I had some bad luck with ankle injuries when I was a kid. Yeah, literally some of the times that my ankle has been like, yeah, it was bad. So I feel Adam Cole's pain on that one.
But a lot of people, he can't. Afterwards, you had these masked men attack Jay White. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do like a storyline like that. I love when there's a mystery. So I will keep in touch with the storyline to see if there's more. Trust me, I do like when there's a storyline like this that like catches my eye big time and everything. But a lot of people was like, "Oh, Adam Cole might be work. This might be a work. No, this ain't a work from Adam Cole. It would be a big surprising thing if this was a work and everything. Britt Breaker, Adam Cole, everyone involved with this should get a damn Grammy if this is a work because Britt posting, the ankle injury and everything, and I don't see this as a work or anything. That just
No, it seems legit to me.
I think it's legit, and a lot of people, a lot of sites have said this is legit, and he's actually, I think he's having to have surgery on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
So, NXT No Mercy. Now, look, I have gotten through 2 matches of it. 2, 3. Hell, I don't know. But, but I will say this: I'm watching it, and of course, it's never going to feel like a takeover feel, like Takeover did. But I was seeing the crowd get into it, and this is definitely the closest I felt. That I'm like, damn, this feels like Takeover just a tad and everything. And I still got to watch the Kamala Hayes Dragunov fight and Tiffany and Becky fight. And I will say this: the pay per view for me is a big thumbs up without even watching those matches so far. So NXT, man, hey, they might be trying to make a comeback. Hey, Shawn Michaels, he's got a great mind when he's allowed to do what he wants. What I hope they continue doing, it looks like they're going to try to, is bring some of these independent indie people in for at least a run a little bit before they do the main roster stuff. I hope they go back to that format at least a little bit because it looks like that's what they're doing a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, I'll take your word for it. I haven't watched any of the matches, so I can't really speak from personal like experience. But I'll take your word for it that it seems like NXT are going a different direction. I've heard good things about it, so yeah, I believe you. One thing I am happy about is I'm happy to see. Wait, you know the winner of the main event, right? You know the winner of the NXT title match between Ilya and Carmelo Hayes. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm happy to see that Ilya Dragunov is the new NXT champion. I've been wanting to see Ilya as champion for a while, and it's overdue. So it's good to see him with the belt now. Hope to see him have a decent reign with it, and then once he drops it, goes straight to the main roster and kills it. So yeah, big fan of Ilya Dragunov. So just happy for him really. And now that probably means Carmelo Hayes is not far from debuting onto the main roster
Yeah,
permanently.
I think, I think, I think since it's 1-1 technically, I think they will have a third match.
Yeah,
And,
which Ilya will retain, and then Carmelo Hayes will go to main roster.
and I think that'll prolong and his main roster thing. But I think it's going to be. I think he'll debut in the Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because probably their third match will happen probably around late October, early November, maybe sometime in November. So then after that is over, they can sort of have Carmelo Hayes just take a little bit of a break, and then have him debut on the main roster in January in the Royal Rumble. Have a good show in there, and then on the main roster from then on.
Yeah. One thing I want to do, and I know I haven't watched the Tiffany and Becky match, but I have seen Tiffany Stratton's work, and I am telling you, you talking about someone that has got it so quickly at her age and everything. I'm telling you, she WWE cannot drop the ball on her. She can't be one of these people that's on the main roster that just feels like another person. If they've done that, they have really did just miss. They really have really fucked it up to me. But one last thing, and then we will get to our Fastlane previews and predictions for for the pay per view. Or actually, okay, so Randy Orton. Just one thing about Randy Orton. They are trying to figure out making creative plans for Randy, and that doesn't mean his return's going to be very, very quick, like soon, but they are thinking of plans to do Randy and everything. So, hey, I hope they got good plans for him, especially when he comes back. I can't wait for it. We talk about this every time when there's a little Randy news. I just love I just love the art of what he does in the ring, storyline, promo, and everything. And I recall him talking about promos one time, and he said, "Dude, I sucked at promos for a long time. I didn't. It didn't grow overnight. It took a while for me to get promos, and I think that's why we need to be hesitant to some people that might be good in the ring, but they haven't got the promo and they're getting to it, but they're not there. You gotta have patience with them." Because Randy talked about it himself. He said, "Dude, I was not good with promos." So,
I mean, one of the biggest examples is Roman Reigns. Think about how bad on the microphone he was back in like 2015, 2014, around that sort of time, 2016. Like, it only really was the last few years when he had Paul Heyman with him that he started to get good on the microphone and just having that confidence about him. And now he's one of the best mic workers in the company. So it just goes to show, like, even people who are not good on the microphone yet, they can learn it. With the right coaching, with the right teaching behind them, they can learn and they can get better at it. It's like anything. Like, if you just dedicate yourself to it, you can get better at it. So yeah, I think people need to be less critical when it comes to certain people about their mic skills, especially if they haven't been doing it for a long time.
right, I agree. Um, I know I was going to say something about Fastlane, but I was going to have that as the last thing. Go ahead and do your rant.
Oh, I've been unleashed. Okay. Oh, fucking K. All right. Alrighty. 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 Well, before I go on to that disgrace of a game, that was Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspur. We'll talk about the FA Cup game first. Well, not FA Cup. Carabao Cup game first against Leicester City, where we beat Leicester City 3-1. Very good start to the cup season. I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember like all of the goals. Actually, no, I can. Cody Gakpo scored the first one, Szoboszlai scored the second, and Jota scored the third. Dominic Szoboszlai's goal, especially, what a fucking finish! Like, absolutely rifled it from outside of the box from about 25 yards out. Steven Gerrard-esque. It's not even a joke anymore when we say he's the next Steven Gerrard. He literally showed it in that game. Like, literally, like when he signed it, we was like, "Oh, he's gonna be the next Steven Gerrard," because we know he has decent long shot ability, which Gerrard had in abundance. But yeah, it's generally not a joke anymore because he's got Gerard's number, the number 8 on his back, and he's got a fucking screamer in his locket. So yeah, what a goal! Literally, when he scored the goal, I was sitting in the pub at the time watching the game. When he scored it, I nearly went flying backwards off my chair. I'm not even kidding. That's how like fucking shocked I was when he scored it. Like, what a fucking finish. But yeah, that was a good win. Very good team performance. And now we've got Bournemouth next when it comes to the cup away, which is not ideal considering we could have got a lot more easier teams. But Bournemouth at the same time, not that bad. Could have been a whole lot worse as well. So we'll take it. Okay. Run time! All right. Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspur was a good game at first, in the first 20 minutes. Very back and forth, as you'd expect, because Liverpool and Tottenham are the two teams that have really been highlighted so far this season, along with Man City. Because genuinely, Tottenham have been great so far this season. So far of us too. And by the way, when I have this rant, this is not me having a rant at Tottenham. I just want to put that right out there. Tottenham are a great team. They did what they needed to do. You know, fair play to them. They got the win. They are a great team. But you know what? Go ahead.
I'm going to say something before. I don't want to interrupt you with this great thing that's coming up. Just my reactions to the game real quick, and I'm watching more and more, but I'm not the diehard that you are, for sure, because you've been with them forever. I will say this. Out of all the sports I've seen, and I've seen a lot, this might be the worst reffing that I've ever seen in my life. That's all I'm going to say. Might be the worst reffing. Doesn't take away from them winning, but even if we have 10 people against their 11, I think we beat them. I'm just going to say that. But go ahead. Let's hear this.
All right. So yeah, before I go on to the full rant, yeah, this is not me taking anything away from Tottenham. It was a good performance by them. They did what they need to do. They got the win. Fair play to them. Literally, like, I'm not angry at Tottenham whatsoever. Like, this is not me being salty at Tottenham. What I am salty about is the useless, incompetent referees and officials that are in the Premier League. And this is nothing new that we haven't heard, that we haven't just discovered. We know how bad the refs are, and we've known for years. It's just that this particular game and this particular occasion, it was the worst refereeing and officiating I have seen in a game probably in my whole entire life. And I'm not even taking the piss either. Like, throughout the entire 90 minutes, it really felt like we were up against the wall, like, in terms of what we could do. It really felt like, and this is a quote from one of our players, by the way, Alexis McAllister, who might be getting punishment from saying this, because they are petty fucks. But it really felt like Tottenham had a 12th man out there, and that was the referee and officials. Really felt like they had 12 men instead of 11. So it wasn't just 9 versus 11, it was 9 versus 12. In fact, 9 versus 16 if you count the 4 other officials that are behind VAR, which we'll get onto that. So first of all, the Curtis Jones red card, not a red card, first of all. Yes, the way Curtis Jones' foot hits Basuma's leg, yes, technically that is a leg breaker, so it is dangerous, so it could be considered a red, but what you've got to consider is the build-up to it and how it goes, because Curtis Jones is clearly not intending to go for the leg. There's no malicious intent. He's going for the ball. That's all his mind is on. He's going for the ball. He actually hits the ball. His foot hits the top of the ball, but because the ball is so slippery and all that, his studs roll over the top of the ball because he's trying to control it. Misses controls it, so he rolls over the ball and goes into the leg. And I'm sorry, but unless you're fucking a scientist, you can't control physics. You cannot control the force of physics. Your foot, when it rolls over like that, it's just going to land on the foot. That's just how it is. Curtis Jones couldn't do anything about it, especially in a split-second moment like that. He couldn't do anything about it. And what I find annoying is that they didn't put this into consideration when the referee went over to check the monitor and VAR on what happened. Instead of showing the whole thing in real time and basically the whole movement of why that situation happened, when he went up to the screen, all he saw was a slow motion moment of when Curtis Jones' foot hit Basuma's leg. So he didn't see Curtis Jones hitting the ball or anything like that. All they showed him was the contact with the leg, which is not the whole context behind what happened. So that obviously gave the referee the initiative to give him the red card, which All right, so with this one, I'm not fully blaming the ref here. I'm blaming the people behind VAR, not giving the ref the full picture of what happened. That is who I'm blaming on that occasion. But still stupid of the referee not to ask them to show him the whole thing. But yeah, my personal opinion, not a red card. If Curtis Jones missed the ball entirely, then yes, red card. But he hit the ball, clearly going for the ball. So in my opinion, yellow, not a red. So that was a stupid thing to start off with. And that happened in the 25th minute. It was in the first 20 minutes. And it was just like, oh God. It just really like built up the game and it really showed like how it was going to go going forwards. It was just like, oh God. And this is the biggest disgrace of the lot. This is the biggest disgrace because it cost us a lot. It cost us a point at least, if not the whole 3. After Curtis Jones got sent off and we were down to 10 men, literally a few minutes afterwards, Luis Diaz scores a goal. Mohamed Salah plays Luis Diaz through. Diaz puts a wonder of a beautiful finish into the top. Well, not top. It was sort of like bottom left corner. Beautiful finish. Flag goes up. The linesman puts his flags up for offside, which, fair enough. Like, with a linesman, it's hard to get that stuff right because it's a moment's instant. So the flag going up, fine. But then it goes to VAR, or it supposedly goes to VAR. Screen pops up. When I was in the pub, I could clearly see Luis Diaz was onside because I could see the trailing leg of Romero playing Diaz onside. I was right next to the screen, by the way, so I could fully see. So I even went up to the screen and sort of pointed out with my finger, just like pointing in line, just like, yep, that's onside, motherfucker, so give us the goal. What was most ridiculous was VAR didn't even bother drawing the lines for the offside, for the goal. Like, you know how like normally when it goes to VAR, they like to draw the lines to make sure that, you know, it's perfectly in line and all that, so they're not overstepping, so it's not offside or blah, blah, blah. They didn't do that. Instead, they just popped up with the picture of it without any lines and then carried on. And we've heard a bit of the context behind this whole thing, and this is actually even more ridiculous. So apparently, because the on-field decision was offside, they had to check for, obviously, evidence that the on-field decision was wrong. So when they were checking, the reason why they didn't draw the lines, this was the reason why they didn't draw the lines. The reason they didn't draw the lines is because it was that obvious that Luis Diaz was onside that they didn't bother drawing the lines, and instead they just called to the referee, check complete. But what they didn't make clear was that they didn't say check complete, that he's onside. So when they said check complete, they thought that they meant that the on-field decision was correct. So they thought they meant offside. But no, they knew he was onside. The people in VR knew he was onside. They just didn't communicate it effectively enough that he was onside. They just said check complete, so they thought the on-field decision was correct. So they thought he was offside. That is so stupid. Like, what, in that sort of scenario, why would you not take your time? They rushed it. Instead of taking your time and drawing the lines and making sure, they decided to rush it, not communicate effectively, and in the end, it just made it one huge fuck up. And on the process, we got robbed of a goal. That is the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. In that sort of scenario where like decisions like that can literally affect the results of the game, I don't care if you take a couple of minutes. Take a couple of minutes to make sure that you're making the right decision. Because, again, it literally affects the result of the game, stuff like that. And with the time that you're taking to make sure it's onside or offside, you can just add that on to the time added on at the end of the half. So I just don't get it. So, yeah, that is the biggest injustice of all, because that goal should have stood. And if that goal would have stood, we would have gone 1-0 up at that moment. And as we all know, after that offside goal, despite that being offside, Cody Gakpo scored a little bit afterwards. It was right at the end of the first half. Gakpo turned and scored. he injured himself in the process, unfortunately. Seems like a knee injury that he's got. But luckily, this is what I've heard from Gakpo, is that it's not as bad as it was feared. So, like, it could have been a lot worse. With a knee injury like that, especially if it's ligaments, he could have been out for the whole season. But what we're hearing is that he's only going to be out for a few weeks, and he'll be back for I think it's the Merseyside derby against Everton after the international break is over on the 21st. So thank fuck. So he's only going to be out for a few weeks. Sound. But yeah, Gakpo scores, injures himself in the process, but it was a very good finish from him. But this is what makes the Luis Diaz offside goal more infuriating. If that goal would have stood and Gakpo would have scored, that could have got us 2-0 up. And by that point, that could have been a lot more comfortable. We could have sat back. We could have defended well, like just made it a lot more comfortable about ourselves. But no, instead, that goes offside. We score, but we sort of panic. Actually, no, before Gakpo scores, Gakpo didn't even score to make us go 1-0 up. Son scored for Tottenham before then. So Son scored for Tottenham. It was, in fact, right after the goal was given for offside. So what happened? The goal got given for offside for Luis Diaz made our team lose their heads for a little bit, and then Son scored for Tottenham right afterwards. So that's what makes the offside so even more infuriating, because if Luis Diaz's goal stands, Son's goal probably doesn't happen. Potentially does happen still, but probably doesn't. You don't know how moments like that can affect what goes on in the game later on. So who knows? We could have been 2-0 up at the end of that first half if that goal would have stood, and we probably could have gone on and won the game. And a lot of the stuff in the second half probably wouldn't have happened. But if buts and maybes and all that stuff. But that's what makes it so infuriating. But the injustice doesn't stop there. Second half, Diogo Jota gets himself a yellow card and a second yellow, which gets him sent off in the process. The second yellow card, fair enough. Foul, yes. Yellow card, fair enough. Second yellow, I agree. First yellow card, on the other hand, what the fuck was the referee looking at? Because genuinely, Destiny Udogie tripped. Jota was running with Udogie, trying to chase him down, trying to get the ball from him. Didn't even touch him. He was like a little bit of a distance behind him. And Udogie was just running full speed. And he trips over himself, falls down, referee blows for a foul, and books Jota with a yellow card. It was just like... So we're just booking players for running with a guy who tripped himself up now, are we? Interesting. So, yeah, Jota gets himself the first yellow, and then, gets himself sent off with the second yellow. But he shouldn't have been in that position to get himself sent off anyway. Like, he shouldn't have had that first yellow. If he hadn't got that first yellow, he would have only been on one yellow after the second challenge anyway. So he should have only had one yellow, and that's it. So we shouldn't have been down to 9 men. We should have still had 10 men. And who knows what we could have done with 10 men. With 10 men, we scored a goal. We could have won the game with 10 men. With 9 men, though, we had to sit back and defend for our lives. And boy, did we defend for our lives. We just basically got all of our attacking players off, stuck our midfielders and defense on, all of them, and just defended for our lives and just sat back and just hope for the best. And to be fair to the lads, they fought valiantly to the end. Right into the final fucking minute, they fought to the end. They defended valiantly. They fought for the badge. They fought for the shirt. That's what I love to see from the players. Passion, aggression, fight. But ultimately, it bit us in the arse at the end. Joel Matip, unfortunately, in the process of trying to clear a ball from being put into the box, he accidentally kicks it into the top bins of our own net. It happens. It happens. When you're defending, especially in the way we had to for pretty much a whole half, and it's Tottenham going attack after attack after attack after attack, bombarding us for 45 minutes. It was bound to happen. It's just heartbreaking that it literally came at the final minute of the game. if we'd have held out for 30 more seconds, we'd have got the draw and we would have got a point out of that game, which I would have taken all day, every day, especially considering of what bullshit we had to go through. But unfortunately, it is what it is. We lost the game. We got 0 points out of it. We got robbed of at least a point, if not all three. Potentially, we could have got all three from that game because genuinely, like, Tottenham were great. Don't get me wrong, Tottenham were good. But even with 10 men, we were the better team. With 9 men, yeah, we were getting attacked and bombarded just because we sat back and defended. But I still think we performed very well even with 9 men against Tottenham, which says something, which I think shows how great of a team we have and how much fight these lads have and how much potential we have as a team. I generally think after that performance, I think with 11 men, we can beat any team in the league. Genuinely. This team has won me over more than I could ever say after that performance. Even though we lost, I couldn't say enough good things about the lads and the performance that we showed. Just showing that we, like, even against any adversity against everything, against the world, we'll stay in there with a fight. We will not give up. So, yeah. And my heart goes out to Joel Matip. Like, any Liverpool fan that had a go at him for doing that own goal, just don't call yourself a Liverpool fan at that point. Because, mate, stuff like that happens. Like, it's not Joel Matip's fault. Like, it's shit like that just happens. And he put in a valiant performance for 90 plus minutes of that game. Like, he didn't put a foot wrong apart from that one moment at the end. And Alisson immediately going over to console Matip at the end was such a nice touch from Alisson. Like that, like, not only is he one of the best, if not the best goalkeeper in the world, which in my opinion he is, he's also an amazing person. Also an amazing person as well. Which, may I add, Alisson Becker, some of the saves he made in that game were ridiculous, especially the one from James Maddison when he tried to curl it into the top corner and he dove over and saved it. I was like, oh my God. And he saved one from Son that was like point blank range, literally like a couple of minutes afterwards. So he made like 2 world-class saves in the space of like 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes or however long it was. It was just like, literally no other goalkeeper in the world does this stuff on a regular basis. Like, every game, he just pulls off a worldy save like it's nothing. It's just like, and what? So, yeah. It's a shame. I hope to see us not get discouraged from it. I don't think we will. I think, in fact, we'll take that and we'll let it fuel us. We'll let it fuel our performances later on and just try and make sure it doesn't happen again. But of course, we can't control what officiators and referees do, which is why hopefully, even though, like, you know, PGMOL, officially, like, apologized to us and everything. I'm glad Liverpool released a statement about it and was just like, you know, we acknowledge that you apologize and we acknowledge that you made a mistake, but we're not exactly going to take this line down either. You know, it's not like this is going to be a very forgiving thing. Like, you know, we're not going to stand for it anymore. Like, it's not going to be something that's going to be tolerated, because at the end of the day, it doesn't just happen to us, Liverpool. The referees and officials fucking over teams, it doesn't just happen to us. It happens to pretty much every Premier League team at some point in a season. It's just the facts. The referees and officials, especially for the Premier League supposedly being the best league in the world, which in my opinion it is. In terms of the talent in the Premier League, it's the best league in the world. Some would say La Liga, some would say the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich, but no. The Premier League is the best league in the world. For a league that good, you need to have better referees and better officials. Like, you never see this sort of stuff happening in La Liga. You never see this sort of shit happening in the Bundesliga, in Serie A, Ligue 1. You don't see any of this happening in any other league in a country. You just don't. At least not as regularly as you see it over here in England in the Premier League, which is a disgrace. So hopefully something will happen. Unfortunately, I don't think it will. I think this will just get brushed under the rug like every other time the referees have fucked over a team, and they'll just continue to do it. We just need to get competent refereeing. Like, get all these like shit incompetent referees out and just get new ones in that actually know what they're doing. Some would say it's even corruption. I probably would agree. Like, sometimes it does seem like it's corruption, not just stupidity, corruption. But I can't say with full certainty. But yeah. Anyway, that is probably going to be my rant. In terms of my feelings as a fan, I'm proud of the lads for the performance. I'm happy with the team. I'm not too discouraged. At the end of the day, City dropped points too, so we're still only 2 points behind City. We're a point behind Spurs and Arsenal, so we still got a long way to go of the season. We can't let one fuck up affect our season. We just got to brush it past now and just focus on the season, the games we've got coming up. We got Brighton next coming up, which is also going to be a tough game. Even though they got slapped by Aston Villa, they're still a good team. So we need to take them seriously. And I saw you put your finger up, Tyler, so go ahead and say what you need to say.
I was going to say, we see you and everything. I was letting him. You came in when he was at the end of his rant and everything about Liverpool and everything. We do see you, right? We do see you. We actually have not talked about Fastlane yet. That's the last thing we're going to talk about and everything.
Yeah.
But talking about the game against Tottenham and everything, for my perspective, a little bit more. It look, I'm like you. I'm so proud of him. But dog, when he hit that end at the last minute, I was watching and I was like,
dude, same. Like, bro, my head went into my hands. Like I literally just went like.
It was one of those moments, but then you gotta think those guys were defending their asses off, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what you got to think. Like they defended valiantly for the entire half when they were outnumbered by 2 people. Like, and going up against shit referees and officials as well. It's just like, it's just one of those things. Like, on another day, would we have gone the win and gone the 3 points against Tottenham? Yeah, because I generally think we are a better team than Tottenham. We are a better team than Tottenham.
I agree.
When it comes to 11 versus 11, I think we beat Tottenham 10 times out of 10. Tottenham are a good team, don't get me wrong, but I think we do beat them 10 times out of 10. It's just one of those times where things just didn't go our way, which it happens in football. It's not the first time that's happened to us in football, and it won't be the last. So we just got to move on, not let it affect our season anymore, and just basically just go with the momentum that we still performed very well despite the loss. So we just got to keep performing well. We'll just keep winning games and just keep pushing on, see where the season takes us. The season is far from over, and I still think this is going to be a very good season. I think we're going to win at least 1 trophy this season, if not maybe 2. But we'll see.
Yeah, we about that. Yes, I did watch the Colorado and USC game. I'm not surprised because USC don't have no defense. They suck. They suck on defense, okay? If you watch American football, we were talking about UK football. If you didn't realize, USC has a great offense, but their defense is terrible. It's absolutely trash. So that's why, as an Oregon fan, and I'm going to talk about American football just quickly. As an Oregon fan, just like you are, Surf, I'm more worried with Washington coming up than USC. But that's all I'll talk about it. my college football predictions for this upcoming week will be later on in the week. So check out for that video. Now we're going to talk about WWE Fastlane finally, but it'll be the last thing we talk about. 5 matches on the card. The 6th match was going to be Gunther and Ciampa, but they did that on Monday Night Raw in the main event. Takeover style show. This is what it reminds me of. And Triple H is, people might not like not seeing everyone on the card, but if you're gonna complain about that, then you like Vince's way then. So
I've always been one for quality over quantity. Always have, always will be. Like, you don't need to get everyone on the card. Like, you don't. You don't need 7, 8, 9, 10 matches on a pay per view, especially on a pay per view like Fastlane. You really don't. Just have 5 quality matches on the card. It'll make the pay per view great, and then anything else you can chuck on Raw and make the Raw special by doing that. That's what they did with Ciampa and Gunther. It made that Raw great just by having that in the main event. That's sometimes what you got to do. So yeah, I've always been one for quality over quantity. So I prefer Triple H's way of doing things with the whole takeover thing. It works for takeover. It'll work for the main roster too.
I agree. The first match we will talk about is the LWO Ray and Santos, and I do not know who the third person is. I guess it's going to be a damn surprise. It could be a surprise with Dragon Lee being a LWO member. Who knows? But they are facing the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. They need a name for this trio here soon. Because I don't want to keep on saying Street Profit. Dragunov. Not what? Oh yeah, I'm glad you said never mind because he would make no sense in LWO. But
That'll be an interesting sight.
this should be a very fun match, and I would think this would start off the show. I feel like it would be a match that would start off the show. Should be fun, back and forth. But yeah, those three will. I think they could do Dragon Lee and LWO, but I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger or not. I think that would kind of be, even though they haven't done much, that'd be disrespectful to either Wilder or God dang. Why have I lost the other person's name in LWO? Wilder and Del Cruz. Or Terrell Cruz. I don't know. Cruz, whatever. You know what I mean. But kind of be disrespectful to him, but I don't know. But at the end of this, for me, this is the showcase and win for the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley.
I agree. Street Profits and Bobby Lashley are winning the match. They sort of need to because they're still a relatively new like team faction, whatever. They do need a name because like anytime I think of them, I just think of them as the Hurt Business 2.0. I'm not gonna lie, that's just where my mind goes. Is like Hurt Business 2.0, but I know that's not what they are. But yeah, they need momentum behind them. So yeah, Bobby Lashley and Street Profits are definitely gonna get the win.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not much to talk about it, but I mean, we know it's going to be a very solid 6 man. Mm, next one I want to talk about is John Cena with his tag team partner LA Knight.
Yeah.
I was hoping you did it because I didn't want. How should Selena find a LW female faction soon? I don't think it needs another female. If that's what you're asking, I don't think so. But I could see LWO splitting up very soon, though, in the near future. Cena and LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso. What a confusing fella. What a confusing. That's all I'm going to say. You know, he said, "Oh, I didn't never said I was out of the bloodline." But here you are with your brother facing Solo and Roman at what was that? Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
At Money in the Bank. And now you're back with them.
Jimmy is the most confusing man on this planet.
It really is. But I think this just very adds more to the story, and this is a Cena and LA Knight win to me.
I agree. Because, I mean, as good as Jimmy and Solo is, Cena and LA Knight teaming up together, like, you'd expect him to win. Like, I mean, who's going to take the pin? LA Knight? No. Cena? No. So, by process of elimination, I see Cena and LA Knight winning their match.
I do too, and I think this is going to further more of the story when Roman returns on the 13th.
Yeah, exactly.
And as they say, business will be picking up very, very soon. Maybe WWE screwed Jimmy direction somehow by there, but they're trying to get him back. The reasoning and everything for him to be back, I didn't like, but it's not like he's doing he's doing a pretty good job with what they gave him. So it's not like he's doing a bad job. That's all I'll kind of say about that. But business will pick up when Roman returns, and will further the storylines here soon. Supposedly, so this Friday night, um, as I looked, it said Jay and Cody was supposed to be at SmackDown. What? What is going on? Jay and Cody
Didn't
SmackDown?
J-
Why?
Jay and Cody going to SmackDown? Jay moved to Raw.
I don't know why the hell. I think I saw something like that, and I'm thinking, why would they be going to SmackDown? But I don't know. But yeah, I don't. You have a tag team with Cena and LA Knight. You don't see them taking the pin. There's just
No.
no. There's just no way. Um, Triple threat for the women's championship. Io Sky defends against Asuka and our favorite Miss Charlotte Flair.
Io
I
Sky retains. That just end off. Just end off. Io Sky retains. Like, come on. Like, let's be real here. I mean, it's just not Charlotte. Anyone but Charlotte. If Oscar won the belt back, I wouldn't be too mad. I would be a bit mad because I really want Io to have a long reign. But if Oscar won the belt back, not too mad. Charlotte winning the belt, fuck right off. That just, yeah. As long as it's not Charlotte. But yeah, Io Sky retains for me. And yeah, just see where it goes from here. I think it's going to lead eventually to an Io Charlotte 1-on-1 match, which scares me. Clearly, this is worth for Kairi Sane return. Yeah, potentially as well. Yeah, I could see Kairi returning. Yeah, if not now, then definitely sometime like maybe Survivor Series. Kairi back in the United States, so yeah, she's definitely preparing to come back. So yeah, I could see her coming back after that match is over and confronting Io. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't want anyone else to win except Io in this match, and that's who I'm going with. No disrespect to Asuka. I mean, really, Asuka is a living legend and still can go in the ring. Charlotte, I mean, look, she puts on good matches, okay?
Don't you dare speak that into existence. Please, please do not give them any ideas. I mean, I don't think the senile old man is making decisions in this current moment, but do not give him any potential ideas to change anything. Um, but
Charlotte
yeah.
puts on good matches. Look, I'm going to give her credit with that, but does she don't need a title reign again, okay? So, I hope Io wins, and I think this is going to be a great triple threat.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing. Like you think about the three oh god damn it, I want to block you right now. I'm kidding. But Jesus Christ, no, please, no. But yeah, the three people in that match, like the best women's wrestlers on the roster. So you'd expect this triple threat match to bang. This could be match of the night. This very well honestly could be match of the night right here. Um, so yeah, like Io, amazing. Oscar, amazing. Charlotte, she's great at what she does. You can't deny that. So yeah, this is gonna be an incredible triple threat match. I'm looking forward to it. Me personally, I just hope Io wins.
I do agree it could be match of the night, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it could be match of the night, like you said. The Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest defending the tag team titles against Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. What the fuck are we doing? That's what the fuck are we doing here?
That's such random.
That is random. They just want to get them on the show. And to me, yes, Cody needs to have more stuff, but I'll tell you this, and I'll be the first one to put it out there to you. Judgment Day retains with the help of a heel, Drew McIntyre.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. I like the sound of that.
Because I think this match is more random than Xavier Woods and IFAR. Yeah. But I'm gonna say this. The reasoning from it is, oh, Jay gets a title match and all that and everything. What has he done? And he ain't gonna screw up Cody Rhodes, but he's gonna screw up Jay. And this is where Jay will take the pinfall, I do believe.
Yeah, I agree. Judgment Day retains with Drew McIntyre helping them out and attacking Jay. Yeah, I agree.
And I think that sets up I think they're already setting up war games.
Yes.
And with Jay, Cody, and KO and Sammy. And I mean, I don't know with what the hell the Judgment Day's got going on. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it looks like that's what they're going for. But I don't know how the story is going to progress in the next 2 months.
Visually, I'm on board, but the thing is, Judgment Day is already kind of about. JD McDonough is already. For a second there, I thought you said Judgment Day is already about to join Judgment Day. I was like, how the fuck does that work? But
But
no, you mean JD McDonough. I prefer to call him Jordan Devlin, me personally. So that's why that went over my head.
but I will say on Raw last night, Rhea told Dom, if you don't win your title back tomorrow night, on which is tonight now, for the NXT North American Championship, don't come back. So He might
Oof.
be raising, so that's when you get JD McDonough, Jordan Dove, and you get heel Drew McIntyre in that War Games match.
I can see it.
Maybe. But that's the only thing I could really see. I think happening. I think Drew cost Jay and Cody the belts. Even though
Yeah.
this is very random, but I kind of get. I what I think should be the main event. Don't know if it will be, but it should. Seth Rollins defends the World Heavyweight Championship against the best version of Shinsuke Nakamura we have seen in a while. And I might say not better than in his NXT stuff, but the best stuff he's done on the main roster. In a last man standing match. I am just going to say this.
You know my stance on this. So I'll let you take the floor.
I'm going to raise my hand up and everything with some prayer. They cannot let Shinsuke Nakamura lose again. Not clean. Not clean.
What he said in the chat.
Way I see Nakamura losing, the only way and this is just going to be a bad look for him, is if Ricochet gets involved. Yes, that's my reaction too. But it makes sense. I hate to admit it, but it makes sense.
God, no, please, no, don't, no Ricochet. All we need to see is Seth Rollins down for the 10 count and your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. That is all we need to see. I did when it's just like improving his stick, for God's sake. But yeah, so if I agree with you, Shinsuke needs to win. He's gotta win. Like I've said this since he's started this feud with Seth Rollins. Like I said it from what was the pay-per-view after SummerSlam? Well, Payback. I said it when it was Payback. I said Nakamura should have won the title at Payback, but you know what? Fine. He lost there. I'm willing to wait until now in Fastlane for him to win the belt, but he better win it now. Because this is generally the best Shinsuke Nakamura's looked since his NXT days. And he needs to be deserved for his good work. He really does need to be rewarded from it. Guys, when is TLC? I don't really know.
I don't think they're doing TLC.
I'm not sure. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, this is the best work Shinsuke has done all his main roster run, and he needs to be rewarded for what he's done with this run. Is TLC in November? Not sure.
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series is in November.
I think they're going to do what they did last year. They didn't have a pay-per-view in December.
But yeah, so yeah, and plus he's done his dues. Like, how many times has Nakamura put someone over, or like went for the world title but then lost it? Like, you think Jinder Mahal, Styles, all that, and he's been a good servant for WWE over the past few years, so he deserves to have his moment in the spotlight as a world champion. Nakamura can't go his whole WWE career without winning the world championship at least once. It just can't happen. So yeah, only one man should win, and that's Shinsuke Nakamura. I like Seth. I think he's had a decent reign, but Nakamura should win.
Is that your official prediction?
Official prediction.
Oh my God. You know, my heart's saying Nakamura, but my brain is saying Seth Rollins.
You're going the same as the way it was before. You want Nakamura, but your brain's telling you Seth.
Uh, damn, man.
He lost clean 2 minutes last night. Yeah, unfortunately, Cedric Alexander, without the Hurt Business and all that, he's just a jobber in it. Like, unfortunately, someone as talented as him should deserve better, but
I hope
unfortunately,
I hope he goes back to NXT. I want him to just go down to NXT. And
yeah, I think Cedric Alexander in NXT would work very well. So I agree with that. But yeah, go on, Tyler, about your prediction.
uh, but my official prediction.
You're going Rollins, aren't you? He's going Rollins.
Mm, I think I will. That's a really good question. I don't know. Um, I am going to go Seth Rollins to win.
Hopefully, I'm the one that's right this time.
I do not want to be right. I hope my prediction is wrong. But I got with my predictions, I always go with my brain, not my heart. Well, most of the time I will say. And my brain's saying for some reason, some way, somehow, Seth Rollins is somehow going to retain. I don't know. It just like you can tell. I want Shinsuke to win so bad. But it's just not going to happen. I just don't see it. And I
We'll see.
am raised and more for what the hell he's done in this little run. Because he needs it. You're not going to give him no damn title, at least give him raise. Something that helps out his pockets.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, hopefully, I'm the one that's right out of this time. Please, fingers crossed.
I am hoping that you are. I'm hoping. But we all got the same predictions minus the main event. Well, that would be my main event. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a last man standing match. Why the hell would that go on before the main event? Don't tell me why. We got the World Heavyweight Championship. Most
The main event is either going to be Seth Nakamura or it's going to be Cena and LA Knight versus the Bloodline. It's going to be one of those two.
I'm gonna just tell you right now on my review, or I damn, I might be actually missing Fastlane Live, so I'm gonna have to on my Twitter and all that. It's gonna have to be muted and all that. But um, whenever I do talk about Fastlane, if Rollins and Nakamura is not the main event, you will hear it from me. That's all I will say. That's all I will say. Yeah, Cena's a big name. What the hell does this match? This match don't main event. It feels like the second damn match of the show to me. It
Yeah.
just, that's just me. Like, yeah, you got Cena, big name. You got LA Knight, hot as can be. Then you got Solo and Jimmy. Without Roman, what the hell are they? Nothing right now. With them building it up, I mean, it's been, yeah. But I ain't going to talk about it. That's it. Rollins, Nakamura, main event. Plain and simple.
Agreed.
But this has been episode 64. Hope you guys enjoy. If you made it this far, if you're watching on demand, thank you very much. Hit that like button for us. Greatly appreciate it if you do. If you don't, hey, you know what? It's cool. It's not one of those things I'm going to cry about in my room or on my couch or anywhere. Like, I'm not going to cry about it if you don't like it. But if you do, thank you so much. Subscribe if you haven't already to both of our channels. Sniper Bro 2025. I mean, 2015. God dang. And hey, been a good one. Episode 64. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know when the next episode going to be. If we might do it after Fastlane, it just depends what stuff happens.
Yeah,
The
we'll
only
figure
time
it out.
we do back to back is probably after a pay per view. So
Yeah, so we can do our review sort of thing.
yeah. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoy. And this is episode 64. Until episode 65. See you guys then. Have a great one.
Peace out, guys.